If you could change any choices you have ever made, would you? You can always make another choice and change the course of your success. Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices radio show, Holographist Coach, Christine McIver.
Hey, everyone. Welcome. I'm so grateful that you're here tonight. Whether you're listening live or you're listening in the replay, your contribution is you being here, and you are assisting with your energy to contribute to creating this show. So I'm super grateful to have you here. Tonight we're talking about your asking is your alchemy. And we're going to get deep into what that really means, what alchemy is, what asking is, and everything in between. If you have a question or a comment and you would like to join us in the chat room, you come on over to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Click on the chat room. You come in there and you can ask any questions. You can participate, and you can also call in. All of the numbers are right there for you to do. So before we get into the show, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I am a holographist coach. And what I do is I work with people that are really ready to change something in their world, people that are ready to do whatever it takes to have the life that they know they truly desire. It's how we are saying, you know what, right now, here and now, I'm going to have it. I'm going to have what I desire, and I'm going to create it in this moment, not in the future, but right here, right now. And I work with individuals that are looking from a personal perspective. Maybe it's with relationships, with their body, with money, with parenting, or maybe it is with your business. Are you in your own business? Are you a solopreneur? Are you in a corporation where you have business partners? Or do you work for someone else and you're looking to grow in your career? Whatever it is, wherever you are looking to grow your business, wherever you're looking to grow yourself, that's what I love to do, is work with those individuals that are ready to say, hell yes. Hell yes, I'm having it, I'm being it, and I'm not letting anything stop me. So if that's something that resonates for you, if you're ready to put anything that's stopping you, the limitations, anything that is not seriously creating what you are desiring, if you're ready to put that in the past and you're ready to step into the hologram of your desires, please reach out to me. You can connect with me through my personal website, InspiredChoices.ca, and we can have a 30-minute conversation to see if we're a match. That's a complimentary session, and we can see where we could go in the future together. I'm not greater than you. I'm not less than you. I walk beside you, and we create fast. And if you're ready to create fast and you're willing to be vulnerable with changing all of the crap that's not working, I just might be the coach for you. So I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to see what we could do to change your world. And, you know, what I'd like you to know is every single time you say, hell yes, I'm having it, I'm changing it, and you step into taking the action to doing that, you create a change in the world that impacts other people saying hell yes as well. So, you know what? What would it take for more and more and more people to say, you know what, I'm having it right now? Wouldn't that be amazing? People that are just going to do whatever it takes, make the determination to change it. Can you imagine what our world would be like if we were in that energy of hell yes? I love it. And Patty's in the chat room saying, hell yes. So who else would like to say hell yes and join the revolution of stepping into your hologram? It would be fabulous to work with you. So do reach out to me. So let's talk about tonight. Tonight we're talking about your asking is your alchemy. Now we know in order to receive, we know we have to ask, right? But what if the must ask is what is the limitation in the receiving? To transform anything is to alchemize it. This means to transform the nature or the properties of something by a seemingly magical process. Are you desiring more? Are you desiring the change about the asking, the must, and the alchemy in a whole new conversation? So that's what we're going to get into tonight. We're going to talk about what that looks like and how we can really change that. So first of all, alchemy. So we know that the word alchemy is to change something or to transform it, right? We often think of alchemy with magic. And that's the energy of to alchemize something, is to magically transform it. Now, I'm going to just, I'm going to bust down immediately that you are alchemy. You are magic. The very fact that you are in a body and the very fact that you have created anything in your life, good, bad, otherwise, all of which are judgments, the fact that you've done any and all of that means that you are magic. The fact you actually continue to show up is magic, because you can make another choice. So just by your choice of moving out of the less than or the heaviness or the frustration and choosing a new thought, you are transforming your choices. You're transforming the trajectory of your life. And that is alchemy right there. The asking is alchemy as well. And in your desires, my friend, in your desires to have and be more, to see the world created in a new magical way, to have the world be what you know is absolutely 100% possible, the fact that you're willing to see it, the fact that you're willing to be aware of it, means that you are willing to have what is now transform. So that means that the fact that you're willing to have it transform means that you're willing to be in the energy of the alchemist. You're willing to actually invoke the alchemy with what it is that you know is possible. So raise your hand if you are willing to be in the alchemy of possibilities. Are you willing to be in the alchemy of possibility? Are you willing to be the alchemist of possibilities? The energy on that is just so amazing. It's so pleasurable. I can just feel the energy going through my body. It's something I'm enjoying personally. I hope you are as well. So, what is the asking? What is asking? What really is asking? What's the energy that you get when we talk about asking? What do you know has been in your world around the asking? And it's so interesting, just me asking that question right now, is what I get very, very quickly, and this is probably very old belief systems, is asking is being annoying. Being annoying and bugging like a child that won't stop asking for what they want, right? Being annoying. So how many of you feel like you're being annoying in your asking? That, how many of us truthfully have been told to stop asking for so much, to stop being greedy? Yeah, we've lived in a world, many of us grew up in a world of you should wait to be asked, to be called upon, and we should be grateful for what we have, and to really stop asking for so much, stop being so greedy. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that absolutely insane that we were brought up with that we shouldn't be able to ask, that we shouldn't have the freedom to know that we can ask for anything, And how many people have gone through their lives, you know, how many people have lived a long life and felt at the end of their life that they missed out on so much, that they actually didn't step into the asking and creating what it is that they desire because of these backwards belief systems. You know, these belief systems have been driven by society, they've been driven by religion, they've been driven by a lot of fear and anxiety, and anything, anything that really feels uncomfortable, anything that feels like you're being held back, please know that all of that is bullshit. All of that is a lie. You came here to be the absolute, amazing, joyful, brilliant being. And you get to have what you desire. You came here to be in joy, and you came here to create. You actually embodied to be the alchemist of possibilities. Are you willing to really step into that and own it? Are you willing to have that? So many of us are stopping ourselves from doing that, and stopping ourselves from really knowing what it is to be the alchemist of our own dreams. And so when we get back from our first break, we're going to talk about what that looks like and how we can really step into being the alchemist of our own reality. And that starts with the asking, my friends. So we're going to go for our first break. You're listening to Christine McIver here on the Inspires radio show here on the Inspired Choices Network. Stick around, my friends. I've got lots more I want to share with you, and I'll love your input in the chat room. So come and join us. We'll see you after the break. Stay tuned.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Holographist Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Holographist Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255. Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Yes, we're talking about asking, and your asking is your alchemy. So before we went to break, we were talking about the alchemy. We were talking about the magic. And what does that really mean? And how does how is asking our alchemy? All right. So if you've ever worked with me, you know I like to break things down. Very, very simple examples. So when you were a baby, and before you could even verbally ask, you asked for attention. You asked for what you wanted, right? And you used whatever means you had available to you to communicate that you desired or required something, right? And as a child, as an infant, you had absolutely no baby has any qualms or judgments about saying, yo, dude, I need my diaper changed. I'm screaming over here. You better figure this scream out that this is my diaper's full scream, right? They don't hold back. A baby does not hold back and wait to be asked, is your diaper full? And then say, yeah, it's actually full. It's been full for the last 6 hours. Do you mind changing it? No. Baby doesn't do that, right? A baby doesn't wait or hold back from saying when they're hungry, or when they're cold, or when they're hot, or when they want that toy, or when they want mommy or daddy to pick them up. There's no holding back with a child. They see what they want, and they ask for it in whatever means is available to them, right? And how many times do they actually get what it is that they desire, right? 99.9% of the time, they get what they desire. They don't have a point of view around your response to it. So tell me, how many of you actually have a judgment in your asking? Do you have a judgment in your asking that's holding you back from asking, which is holding you back from creating what it is that you desire, from having what you desire? So those judgments are like walls. Those judgments of what somebody else is going to think, what someone else is going to do or be, those judgments are like brick walls. They're barriers to you having it, right? The judgment is a lie. And what I mean by that is, if you're judging it, you've probably been taught by somebody else's belief system that it was right or wrong. And if you're worrying about what somebody else thinks, right, you're going into that their world, and you're assuming. How many times does a baby care more about what the other person feels than they do about their own personal needs? Never. They don't. Now, the baby isn't selfish as in they're taking something from you. The baby is selfish as in they're taking care of themselves, right? They're focusing on themselves. Now, there's probably a lot of people out there that will argue with me and say that there's too many people in the world that are selfish. The people in the world that are selfish, they are self-focused as in they are taking something from someone else. They're not focusing on their self-needs and doing what is required to fulfill their needs, to fulfill their desires. They're not doing it at the cost of someone else. There is a very big difference between taking care of your own needs and worrying about someone else taking from you. There's a big, big difference in there. All right. So let's get back to this asking. Have you ever asked for something with no point of view? Have you ever asked for something with no point of view of whether you got it, you didn't, without having huge expectations about what it means if you don't get it, what it means if you do get it, or having any point of view about what the other person is going to think of you? All right? If you are attached to what someone else is going to be and do, if you have expectations around them, that can stop you big time. But here's the big thing. If you're not asking, you cannot receive. All right? You can't receive. Without your ask, there is only a haphazard in your creating. There's only haphazard, right? And we have desires, whether we acknowledge them or not, and most people are not acknowledging their desires. We have desires each and every day. We are constantly, as long as we are in body, we are going to constantly have desires again and again and again. All right? And those desires are going to continue to come forth and come forth and come forth. Now, if you are not acknowledging your desires, if you're not asking for your desires, it's really like a crapshoot. You may end up with some things that you like, or you may not end up with anything that you like. But when you get focused on targets, when you say, you know what, I'm having this is what I'm going for, I'm going to ask for it, all right? Then you start moving deliberately in the direction of your creation. Now, your asking is actually your alchemy. It's your magic, because when you start to step into the energy of the ask, before you actually verbalize the ask, when you are stepping into the energy of what it is that you desire and you're saying yes to it, the minute you say yes to your desire, you are asking. And that, my friends, that's where the magic begins. That when you are ready to acknowledge, you know what, this is my desire and I'm having it, I'm going to have it. That is the energy of saying to the universe, yes, universe, I desire this. Work with me, right? You don't have to say the words, I ask for this, blah, 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 blah. Acknowledging your desire is yours and saying, I'm going to have that. That is the energy of the ask, and that is where your magic is. If you don't ask, if you don't acknowledge your desires, if you don't begin to say, hell yes, I'm going to have that, I'm going to be whatever's required to create that in my life, you are not bringing your magic. You have got to say yes to something. You have got to be willing to lean into it and say, I'm going to have it. I'm going to do whatever's required to be and do to create that in my life. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to be that energy, if you're not willing to at least acknowledge that to yourself, you are missing out on transforming your world, on transforming what is into what you desire. You asking, even within yourself, is the magic that begins to create the energy you be to match with the energy of what it is that you desire. Now, I can hear people going, oh my God, talking about energy again. Okay, let's just take the word energy out of it. If that doesn't work for you, take the word energy out of it. If you're a real, scientific or real business type person that just wants facts, well, here's the fact. If you do not say, okay, we're gonna look at a 1-year plan and we're gonna create a business plan. If you're not writing down a business plan, if you're not laying out exactly what you're gonna target, you're not going to reach those goals. You're just not. So you can give it any words that you want, but the first and foremost is you're acknowledging it. You're being aware of the desire and acknowledging it. That's the beginning stages of the ask. Are you willing to acknowledge your desire, first of all? Ask yourself that. Truth, am I willing to acknowledge my desires? I know many, many people who have died with regret because they were not willing to acknowledge their desires. Please, my friends, don't die with your music left in you. Don't die with your desire left in you. Your desire creates not only for you, but for others. I know as I have moved forward in my life and I have chosen yes, and I've acknowledged my desires and I've continued to say yes to my desires again and again and again, I know that I have inspired others to do the same. And I know it's been hundreds of people are willing to say yes because they saw me saying yes to that. And you have the same capacity. You willing to say, yes, I will have that, inspire someone else to believe that they too can have it. This is a really important thing. And this, my friends, is the magic that you be. This is the magic that you have for yourself. So remember, this is a really key point, is what comes before the ask? The desire comes before the ask. So here's a really great question. If you don't even know what you desire, ask this every day. Ask this of yourself. What do I desire in my life? Right here, right now. And you don't need to get an answer immediately, but as you start to ask that question, and whether you have billions of desires that you know or not, it's a great question to add to your repertoire of questions. But what do I desire right here, right now in my life? As you ask that, you're going to start to get more and more awareness of the desires that you have within you that you may have buried, that you may have said it's not possible. Anything that you desire is possible. We are living in a global community where we can see what people create that is absolutely phenomenal, absolutely unbelievable. We cannot imagine what some people have been able to create. You have that ability as well. You absolutely know that there are impossibilities being created all of the time. But just like an athlete, I was thinking about this last night as I was thinking about doing the radio show, and I was seeing some commercials about athletes and how the amount of commitment that they put into creation. So when they say, you know what, I'm going to win that trophy, or I'm going to be the best in my league, or, like tonight, the Raptors are playing, woohoo! The Toronto Raptors are playing the basketball game. And so probably a lot of people aren't listening to this show live right now because they're watching that show, that basketball game. But I was thinking about the Raptors and how much they have, each and every one of them, for years in and out, and the hours of practice and devotion, and how much they were determined to say, I'm having that again and again and again. And that energy of asking, I'm going to have that, whatever that takes. And they ask of themselves, and they ask of, maybe their parents to support them, or they ask of their coaches to teach them. They ask of their playmates to work with them. They ask of themselves to push them a little bit harder each and every day. That ask, the energy of that starts to change everything for them. Are you willing to step into your desires with your acknowledgement and then your ask, so that you too can have your desires? You see, I believe that you came here to create magic. You came here to create phenomenal things. You came here to change the world in whatever way you came here. Perhaps to create joy with others, perhaps to contribute to others physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, joyfully, whatever that is. But if you're not willing to acknowledge your desires, I know you will not step into your amazingness, your magic. You've got to first be willing to acknowledge and then ask. And the asking creates it. The asking puts it in motion. The ask is like gasoline for your desire. It lights up your magic. When was the last time you said, yes, I will have that? When was the last time you were willing to claim, own, and acknowledge your desire to actually ask for it. How many of us ask for something each and every day? How many of us look at our desires every day and say, I will have that? How many of us dust off our asks once a year? Like, maybe at the end of the year, where we go, okay, it's the new year, so I should really do this, blah, 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 blah. You know what? It doesn't matter when you ask, but I can tell you absolutely, if you stay in the energy of your asking, with the magic of your asking, you will turn it up more and more, and you will increase the probability of hitting those targets, of receiving what it is that you desire. Is now the time for you to use your asking to create your alchemy? What's holding you back? We're going to go for a second break. And when we get back, we're going to talk about some of those things that's holding us back from asking and from our own magic. You are listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on the Inspired Choices Network. Stay tuned, my friends. I love to hear more about what's going on for you. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Holographist Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you ready to have pleasure with your business? Yes, I said pleasure with your business. The Pleasure of Business a la carte will surprise you with topics like meet yourself in the boardroom, money, services, and you. Expand your visibility. The pleasure of communication. The pleasure of Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Christine McIver has so much pleasure with business and loves teaching all things business. Beginning a new business? Desiring to expand a current business? Or looking to resurrect a business that has been dormant? This program will get you fired up and bring more pleasure than you have ever imagined. Exhausted with your excuses for not creating a phenomenal business? Join now for all the pleasure with business. Pleasure of Business a la carte gives you total choice for what you desire and what your business requires. That's 24 weeks of different topics to choose from with weekly calls, audio and video recordings, and PDFs. This class will have you dive right in and use tools to create the business that has been speaking to you. Go to inspiredchoices.ca for full details or join the Facebook page Pleasure of Business a la carte. Now is the time for you and your business.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Holographist Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine at inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right, my friends. So glad you're still with us tonight. We are talking about asking, and asking is your alchemy. Asking really is the magic of what creates more. So what is it that stops you from your asking? Maybe you think about your desires, but then you hesitate. Anybody else out there that you hesitate to ask for what it is that you desire? I know I went through a lifetime of hesitating for what I desire, thinking that I should hopefully, just wait and somebody will finally notice and somebody will finally offer or somebody will finally choose me, right? Oh my God, the energy of, being in school and standing there while you're waiting for somebody to ask you to be on their team or ask you to play with them, right? Oh my God, such a horrible feeling. So how much do we associate rejection with our asking? Oh gosh, there's so much of that goes on in the world. And it's because we give our power over to someone else. If they do not accept us, if they are actually rejecting us, it means X, Y, or Z about us. You know what? That's bullshit. That's not what it means. It means that we're not a match for that person. Next. That's all that it means. There is no more significance to it than that. But we have been taught in this reality really badly, especially in the last 40, 50 years, that if someone says no to us, it means something terrible about us. No, it doesn't. It just means it's not a match. That's all that it means. I can remember there's a song by Garth Brooks called Some of God's Greatest Gifts Are Unanswered Prayers. Oh my gosh. And I remember thinking, that's a stupid song. That's a stupid song. Although I loved Garth Brooks and still do. Today, I'm like, oh, thank the Jesus that was an unanswered prayer, that person didn't say yes to me, or that God didn't give me 10 children. That was an ask of mine at one time, which cracks me up like crazy. And I'm so grateful that it was like a no. But how many of us actually, we're saying in the chat room that negative doubt, that inner voice, we're worried about that rejection, right? So then have you gotten into a pattern of not asking because someone in your past rejected you, rejected your ask? Did you now put yourself into the pattern of not asking? Right? Have you pulled back? Have you said, no, you don't want to get hurt, right? Yes, Melissa said, sweet Lord, so grateful you didn't receive 10 children. Oh, Melissa, you have no idea. Me too. At least not in this lifetime. But here's the really big thing. When we get into a pattern, right, the reason that we get into these patterns is, your brain, your reptilian brain was created for the fight or flight, right? And fight or flight are there to protect you, okay? Everyone can agree on that. Now, what occurs in the brain as we became more civilized, as in we're not running from bears every time we turn around, the fight or flight is still there in the brain, but what it actually is doing now is we are running from or pulling back from, the asking because our brain is still trying to protect us, all right? You, my friend, you do not require protection. You maybe require a new way of knowing your brilliance and your magnitude and your magic and your alchemy, but you do not require protection from somebody else's point of view, right? No one can hurt you with their point of view unless you give that power to them. And instead of giving your power to somebody else and their belief systems, their thoughts, how about knowing your own? And how about believing in your own thoughts, in your own beliefs, in your own knowing? And what works for you right here, right now? So is there anything else that's stopping you from asking for your desires? Oh, here's one that just popped in. Do you stop asking for your desires, even just from the universe, because you don't want to look like the fool? You don't want to look like you were shooting for a big pie in the sky idea, that you don't want to look like you're being outrageous with your asking. Yeah. How many of us have said, I'm not going to share with anybody what I'm trying to do because I don't want them to know if I failed. Oh my God. Can you get the energy of hiding in that one? Can you feel that you're hiding? Now, I get it when we first start out, if we want to make a claim to something, that we maybe are not going to put it on public television, that you're doing something. But as you start to build your strength and your knowing with it, can you see how owning that, how stepping into that, how leaning into that, and being willing to talk about it will actually create even more of it? And truth, do you ever really fail? Do you ever really fail? Imagine if you're an athlete. If you couldn't run a mile in, I don't know what people run a mile in now, but when you start out in any athletic endeavor, we all know that over time we get stronger and stronger with it. Well, isn't that true of any of our desires? If we continue to focus on it and nurture it and massage it and tweak it, don't we get better and better at it? I know I do. I know the more and more that I lean into something, the more my desire continues to rise and my determination continues to rise, and therefore I begin to be more of a match to it because I keep tweaking myself. I watch my thoughts. I watch my words. I really do watch where I'm focusing. Am I always perfect at it? No. But I am determined that I'm going to have my desires. Can you say that about yourself? Can you say that you're willing to do whatever it is that's required, even if you're laying on the floor sobbing like a 2-year-old, even if you're screaming at the top of your lungs and you look like a fool, even if it means you have to get vulnerable with somebody, get naked with your emotions with someone? Are you willing to do all of that so you can get there? That's what it takes sometimes. And if you are really willing to have your desires, you're going to do anything to get them. Because you know you deserve to have all of your desires. And you know why you deserve it? Because you dream about it. Because you think about it. Because it's with you. Because there's an ache inside of you to have it. You deserve to have all of your desires because you be, period. So ask yourself, what is my pattern of asking? Look at that. Be willing to spend some time with that question. What is my pattern with asking? When do I ask? When do I hold back from my asking? And why do I hold back from my asking? Why do I hold back from even asking myself or the universe, let alone someone else? What is it about asking that sends so many people down a rabbit hole? And I'll tell you something, most people, and I've done 2 programs, and they're going to be available for purchase very soon. I did 2 100 days of a program called Up Your Ask, and we dove into so many areas during that program. I absolutely loved it. There's a book coming out, Up Your Ask, accompanied by audios, 100 days of audios where you can dive into asking again and again. But what I learned is most people are only willing to ask for something for just a limited period of time. Most people, we live in such an instant gratification time that when you ask for something, people want it right here, right now. But what they're negating is all of the limitations that they have that are blocking them from creating that ask. Many people are not willing to take the physical action to create what's required to have their desires as well. And so what ends up happening is they will ask for, 2 or 3 days, maybe even a week. And then what starts to happen very quickly is that ask falls off the desire list because they've bought into, because it hasn't shown up with total friggin' ease, it must not be for me. Bull. I don't buy that. I believe that if you have a desire and you're willing to do whatever it takes, you will create it. How much persistence and determination do you have within you? If your desire was you needed to have food to feed your child, you would do whatever it took to make them happen. But so many of us don't see our own desires as that significant. How many of you are starving to death, starving for joy, starving for pleasure, starving for your desires? Would you be willing to really step into doing or being whatever it takes to have those desires? Would you be willing to start asking again, even if you gave up on it at one time? We can do this, my friends. And sometimes it means kicking our own selves in the ass, or maybe it means having an accountability person, having a coach that's going to move you through your limitations to get you to your desires. We're going to go for our last break of the night. And when we get back, we're going to just talk a little bit more about some of the ways that we stop us and how we can change it. You're listening to Inspired Choices here on the Inspired Choices Network, and we'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on our past experiences or what others believe. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire for our futures? When you join Inspired Choices radio show with Holographist Coach Christine McIver, you'll be provoked to look at what is true and what you know but may not choose that requires your attention. Christine does not hold back and brings all her expertise during each and every show. Are you ready to create the life and the living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices radio show every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Holographist Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
All right. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Oh, wow. This show has gone super fast. We're talking about your asking is your alchemy. So there's a couple of areas that I really wanted to focus in on. And I do want to say to you that I am rounding out, I have had a my 10-year promotion. I've had it out there for some time. It's all about the new VIP holographic coaching program. It's 7 sessions for $750 Canadian. That's $1,000 savings. That is going to be ending in 1 week. So if you're listening to this show and that's something that you really did want to take advantage of, now's the time. Because I said 20 sessions is all, and 20 people have taken advantage. Actually, it's gone over the 20, and I'm giving a 1 week notice that is going to be up. So if that's something you're looking to and you've been asking for it, now is the time to step forward with it. So here's a big thing that a lot of people in their own business are doing. So a lot of times, if you are in your own business, at some point there is a sales conversation. You are selling a product or you're selling a service. Now, a lot of people will share their joy and they'll share their excitement with a client or prospective client or customer, and they know what's absolutely brilliant or they love about what they do. But when it comes down to closing the sale, to asking for the sale, people pull back big time. You know, they may have you may have limiting beliefs about money, and then you may project that onto your customer thinking that they don't have the money, right? And so you pull back from actually asking for the sale. And you know, I learned this when I was very young in my very first business, and I would ask people in this way. This is how I would say it. I would literally say, is this something you're interested in? And so, you know, you can be asking for the sale in a way that really just checks in with something of their desire. You're not saying, oh, do you want to buy that? You know, you should buy that. You know, you're not doing push. If you assume that asking is all about push, you need to look at that energy. But asking, is that something that you would be interested in? And they say yes, then you can say, did you want to start with that today? Is that something you'd like to purchase today? Did you want me to wrap that up for you? Right? Asking for the sale is no more than saying, do you like chocolate cake or vanilla cake? It is that simple. But if you have resistance or barriers around that, that is stopping you from creating greater and from more and more prosperity. How many of you have a lover or have a partner and you don't ask for what it is that you desire? You always do or go or eat whatever they like to have or be or go. How many of you aren't willing to say, you know what, this doesn't work for me. I would like you to do this, right? How many of you know that if your lover, your friend, your partner, your child even said, you know, I would prefer this, could we do this, that you wouldn't have a problem with that? But you have a problem asking yourself. Guys, if you get that asking without a point of view can actually have you create more, you will start to change your reality with your asking. That's where the magic starts. That's where the magic of your life begins, the magic of your business, the magic of your joy with your body, with your bank account, with your entire reality. It's in your asking. I would love to hear what your thoughts are about all of this and look at what it is that you can be or do to change what's stopping you. Now, next week, we've talked about asking today. Next week, we're talking about you upped your ask. Now up your receiving. Please do come back. Please do reach out to me if you would like to have that 30-minute complimentary session. You can email me, Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. I would love to hear from you. Let's see what else is possible in your world that you've maybe not been willing to look at. Remember, my friends, you can always make another choice.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, be willing to choose what you really desire. This is your life. making the choices that bring you all that you desire.